AMC people, where are you? Waiting on more people to come in so we can start the chat. This thing is gonna keep falling down. It's gonna annoy me now. How's everyone doing in here? How are we doing here tonight, guys? Get ready for the AMC and GME love. What's up, Lion? How we doing? All right. How was boxing? Was it good? What's up, Joe? Hold on, I'm trying to set this up so it does not keep bothering me. I can't wait for this to end already. You and me both, brother. You and me both. I can't wait for this thing to start because it's gonna be fun. The whole process of going through it. Thanks, Options Cartel. My videos love you too. Appreciate it. I'm very humbled. Stay on here, guys. I'm gonna get something to get this camera set up perfectly so that I don't have to keep going so close to read the comments. Just one moment. Stay on and like the video while I have it. Okay, I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. Un momento, por favor. All right, and we are back. All right, what did I miss? Let's see. Oh, we got some people. Que paso, Vincent? How are you? And Lion, yes, I can't wait for you to be financially free for sure, and everyone. And owning real estate slowly, hell yeah. Tiny Investor, hey, welcome back. I know who's this. Who else want to guess who's Tiny Investor? Tiny Investor is working on a channel now. Tiny Investor, you're not allowed to guess. It's for everyone else. And oh, we got the wolf pack is in the house. One of the wolf packs. One of the wolves. So B Ghost 2. How are you, bro? Stop. All right. So I won't let anyone guess. Tiny Investor is our beloved Danette. That's who Tiny Investor is. Okay. So guys, please, I don't have to tell you the usual. Please like the video so that we can get more and more people in here. So when we talk valuable things, we can have as many people in here, supporting the ideas or arguing with us about the ideas. Tiny, is it you're referring to GME, right? 22.1%. I believe that is correct. Stock tracker. perfect. Yep. Yeah, you see, guys, this is a very important thing to talk about for us. Okay, the cost to borrow is like, for example, for GME, as you can see, is 22.1%. Uh, for AMC, if you have ever been wondering, that cost to borrow is always at like 1.5, 1.2, barely 2%. And that is a huge, it plays a big role into why they're able to do what they're doing. As far as I know, that today they took probably anywhere north of 2 million to probably 3 million shares. That's what they needed to try to at least drop us or keep us from going past that $20 level. And as I've been telling you guys, I stand by my numbers and by the charting that I've done. Um, the worst level for them is that $20 level. So to cleanly break it, we need 20 and 60 cents, maybe 20 and 80 cents, just to be clear. But believe it or not, that $20 strike price is just about equivalent to almost all the strike prices all combined, just that one. What's up, Lord Nemesis is in the house. How are you doing, brother? Um, so Joe, we're gonna talk about what's going on tomorrow. You'll see. Sorry guys, this is the hookah in the background, so if you don't like hookah, I'm sorry. The funny thing is I had somebody comment on one of the videos earlier this morning uh, talking about, and this is crazy. I don't recognize the person. I think it's someone new or some hater from somewhere. I don't know from where. But that person came in and they're like, the comment was like, I think you're smoking. What are you, 15 years old? You're smoking this? How am I supposed to take you seriously? And my response was just, that sounds like a you problem. Listen, guys, for anyone out there, these people like that are the worst in the world, like one of the worst in the world. That people who are trying to control you to a narrative or try to change the way you are just to fit their narrative or the way that they think and go about life. Those are some of the worst people in the world. So they can, kiss my, behind. So yeah, so back to the talk, guys. Lord Nemesis, yes, $19 tomorrow for sure. Um, we need, like I said, if we want to see some crazy fireworks next week, like and talk about like some crazy fireworks, we just need to break that 20, like I said, 2060, 2080. And we have a very, very good shot at doing so, simply just because earlier in the earlier live chat, I told you guys that, um, you know, Friday is not the day where they apply their max pain and all that stuff. You know, it's normally Thursdays because they want to come super clear. Like normally it's just touch up and light work on Friday and take some positions for the following week. Um, so as I was saying earlier, you know, getting 3 million and plus shares to dump on the market, yes, it does cost them a lot, but it's very small interest. Could you believe if the short that borrow rate was 22% like GameStop's? Do you know AMC would not be still trying to squeeze right now as we speak? You know, it would have already squeezed a long time ago. Um, so yes, so so breaking those levels is gonna be something that's amazing, you know? Let's see. Joe said that's a compliment. I wish I was 15, right? Worry free and responsibility free. That'd be crazy. Lord knows is a glass pipe person. I know what you like to do. You must have been happy with the whole marijuana sector today blowing up, and that's something we're going to talk about too. This is not going to be a very long live, guys. It is well into the night. I just wanted to come around so we can touch base, be ready for tomorrow, and send everyone out for a great night. So here's the thing. We're going to start with Who wants to lay it out? What should we start with? Come on, throw them out there, guys. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the with what's happening basically with the marijuana sector. Okay, just the back end story, and we'll go from there. Okay, and we're gonna see where it's gonna take us. I don't burn as much as I used to, but yeah, sndl being up was good. Okay, great. So the marijuana sector is catching a lot of hype right now because all of them were moving at the same time. Apparently, they're drafting a bill and some sort of writing for Monday for the Congress to vote on. Okay, so that's the vote, as far as I know so far, or as far as the rumor has it, is not to be voted on Monday. So here's the thing: there's two scenarios to this. Obviously, there's always two scenarios, but here's how it's gonna go. It's either that this is the pre-hype and they see a potential in making money out of it and getting a lot of people to hold a lot of bags. Now, here's the thing. In those stocks, like the marijuana stocks, I would put it like this, they're not all shorted equally. You guys that follow this channel, you know how I have, like I've said, that I have huge positions in tlry and sndl, and it is very, very good for me to see this. Now, here's the things that how I'm gonna apply my theories to tomorrow, at least. Okay, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, guys. Neither this is financial advice. But tomorrow, I'm gonna be looking at the hype because the aftermarkets were very strong, just like the final hours of the market. So if I see the same strength in the pre-market, I'm gonna see obviously what it does in the actual market, like when it opens. And I'm going to be holding my positions to start collecting, looking to collect some profits. Now, here's the thing. I have positions as far as shares and I have option plays. And the ones that I'm going to be looking to collect profits off of are my options, not my stocks, because I solely believe in the potential of the marijuana stocks in the coming days as we go throughout this year. Because I've also already told you guys that the theory of marijuana being federally legalized is just nothing but a matter of time. And by then, that's when you will see all these companies flourish like crazy, like all the ticker symbols will be through the roof as far as prices, especially for the good standing companies that have good fundamentals. And I'm super huge on tlry with that. And here's the thing. Why the theory, just for the new ones in here that haven't heard that theory before, why do they need, or the government feel the need to legalize that sector? Well, look at the finances in the world. Look at the finances in in the country. Look at the inflation. How could you make a lot of money and pay off a lot of problems that could come to you? Well, they could easily legalize this thing that almost the whole country, is okay with, because they don't consider it as crazy as these hardcore drugs out there. But nevertheless, everybody's almost accommodated, has been accustomed to marijuana. Even if you don't use it, you're accustomed for it to be around. You always see it all around. Just about anywhere you go, you either smell it or you see it on people. And that's the number one thing for the feds. They don't, let's put it that way. They don't give two craps what you do with your life. But if there's potential to make money, of course, and they need it, that's what they're going to do. They will legalize this thing and tax this thing, because as we speak right now, they're not making anything off of it. Why not make a lot of money off of it, obviously? And that's when they will tax it. Let me just stop for a second. We're doing it, Nickel. Jeff, we're doing sndl right now. And Cool Runner, how are you doing, brother? And yes, it is running. But what we're gonna do tomorrow, and this is what I'm talking about, to make sure that we don't end up being, bag holding, is, or at least for me speaking, again, it's my opinion, guys. I'm not advising anyone to get into any position or to get out of any. And Cool Runner, you will see how high will it go. as we speak here now. Tomorrow, I'm looking for another 30% up to go up. With that 30%, we're going to be well above that dollar, and we'll close above that dollar. If that was to happen, I'm basically holding to all my positions well into next week, because I already know we break that $1 level um, this Friday. Do you know how many calls are on that? It's like already easily above, like just on top of my head when I last checked it, it was above 70,000. And that was the crazy part, is that that's the main reason why I would hold it into next week. Now, if it does not break that clean, then obviously I'm going to be looking to unload some calls here and there and take a different stance, because then by Monday you're going to have that hype. It happened last year as well. Oh, maybe they will, maybe they won't, and then they'll just not pass it on time and then buy more time. And I just don't want to be back holding for a long time. I'd rather take some profits and up my position in either stock, or up my position in AMC and GameStop, just business as usual. Nothing is different. But that's what I'll be looking for. I need that 20 to 30% inclination, or almost going into close, so that we can make sure we close above that dollar. If we're closing above that dollar, I'm holding to everything until next week. If it's not going above a dollar, then obviously I'm going to be looking to unload some of my calls. Now, as far as, like I said, shares, I'm not touching any of that. Who knows? I might even think about doing some exercising on some of them, depending on the situation. So we'll see. If it's way above the dollar, then I would think of that. If not, then no worries. Cool runner. I have 100 calls on the $1 strike for tomorrow. Wow. I mean, you have a very good shot, brother. But just a simple question. Do you have, is it all expiring tomorrow, or is the expiration date for a different week? Just yes or no is a good answer. How's it going, Ape Island? Welcome. We have a lot of wolves in here. Tiny investor, what's my views on DRS? Honestly, I don't have much of views. I just feel like all the gimmicks that happened throughout this whole movement, to get people to keep bouncing around from one broker to another, to ultimately that. Ape Island, yes, it is a hookah, by the way. It's double apple flavor. I feel like, and especially that last time when that one company that started telling everyone to register their shares, and the very next day it was bought out and hushed by Robinhood. I was like, you know what? Never mind. As long as I'm with a DTCC covered broker, I don't give too much. The only second thing I was worried about was if the broker that I was with also is known for good liquidity, or have good liquidity. So therefore, for me, that's the way I think of it. DRS, yeah, a lot of apes out there, a lot of people out there are saying this is the way that you can basically just direct register your shares, and it will help a lot with the price, because obviously the theory is that all your shares are being registered. But the problem with that is, do I trust that when it's the time of the run, will my sales orders go through, or will DRS have their own issues, or have their own thing of an issue? So again, I'm not too much on it. I just know that I'll be good with the covered brokers that I have. And tiny investor, I do have Fidelity, I have TD Ameritrade, and I still have some in a Webull account. Yeah, me too, Cool Runner. So here's what we're going to be looking for as far as AMC tomorrow, guys. As far as AMC, you've seen GME as well, did not have too much in the after hour, and that's mainly because it's normal. There's not too much liquidity. Retail is not buying as much, and no one is obviously buying as much. Neither that anyone should have had any money to buy anything in general. But the cool part is, will they be able to borrow, God knows from where the shares will come, from what institute tomorrow, that's going to be willing to give them shares that obviously they might not also see again. For what price? It's possible, but do they have enough money to continue to do so? No. Obviously, it's going to come to an end. So for us, there isn't too much that we have to do. We're there. Basically, we just got to, like I said, for me personally, I'm looking to break that 20 and 60 to 80 cent area. Now, as far as potential, the potential is way above 25. I mentioned it in the earlier chat. The crazy thing that took my attention, by the way, was, and look at listen to this when I show it to you now. As far as options on AMC, here's why I said that the $20 strike price is the most important, and I followed through that. We have an open interest of about 84,000 contracts at that $20 that are right now as we speak are in the money. 84,000. Do you know what's the next highest open interest? Around what? It's that $22 strike price, and that's apparently the most coveted one according to a lot of YouTubers, but it unfortunately is not. It's second. The 20 is the most important, and as we said, 84,000 open interest compared to the $22 strike price is at 33 and a half, almost 34,000. So almost way more double on the 20. Like we have 84,000 compared to the 22. It has 33. The 24 has 18,000, and we go on and on and on. And here's where the crazy part is: the $40 level. Believe it or not, the $40 strike price has 20,000 calls on it. Can you believe it? And I can tell you a possibility or a guess to why is there that many at the 40. One, majority of those could be people who played options from weeks ahead or in advance, and they chose this day. Like it could be 2-3 months ago, and they chose this day, and the strike price at 40. And obviously, you see there's 20,000 of them, and 20,658 contracts open at the $40 strike price. Now, if you ask me like, hey, what are the odds on this? The odds on this is 99.9 of percent a loss. Will the unbelievable happen tomorrow? It could happen any day, of course. But like I said, they're gonna fight us like tooth and nail for that $20 price tag, and if we break it clean, then look forward to next week, because it's gonna be like Armageddon left and right. Zycom, how are you doing? Did I watch Simulate and Trade video? No, I have not. Isn't that the channel where it's a computer voice that is speaking? Now, also, guys, as I said about GME, GME is similar setup to last week's, only just different price, and it's already screwing them left and right on the option chain. Let me read you some of the numbers on that. Zycom, yes, Carlos. Okay, I figured. Yeah, I haven't listened to that person at all. Let's see. As far as options, we have the 100, as I said earlier, the $140 level is the most important one. We're already at 142, as I believe, but it's so easy to go down and up, obviously, rather than AMC because of the price differential. So we have GME at 140. We need to hold that in, and we hold that baby. You'll see next week. It's a completely different world. There isn't too much to think about when it comes to that. Like, it's just that simple with GME. I'm so happy with that. You have no idea, guys. You'll see. It's weird times where, like I said in one of the messages I posted on the community chat, and I said that let's just put it this way. The last thing you would want to be is a hedge fund in these times. You're just shorting these stocks in these times. That's just all I gotta tell you. So, come on, lay some of those questions on me, guys. What do you have? I know most of the times I like to talk and I tell you about everything, but like I said, this is a lighter chat. And I want to answer specifically this one. I want it to be a question and answer kind of setup. If anyone wants to ask what kind of coals I use, is the coconut shells, just in case. Tell me, Zycom, tell me, what is so interesting about BCG? Yes, tiny investor, BBIG is holding. And again, like I told you, I'm so big on it. And the reason why, apparently there's rumors now coming out that it is so close finally that much coveted for record date for all the the stocks that you have with BBIG, so that you can get your split percentage from Cryptide, that Cryptide division or the special spinoff. Apparently that is already been in the works now, and it's any day now could be reported. Someone just apparently had some sort of Reddit post that said that they cannot comment on something, but because of the the time and all that stuff. So that is amazingly huge, big, and it's supposed to be huge. And here's the thing, BBIG, guys, it is shorted to oblivion. Like any of these stocks that I talk to you about, I'm looking at them from all around the spectrum, and we will see. Again, it's not financial advice, but we will see where it will go. Let's see. Is Ape Island says, is the water to cut the harshness on the lungs? No, the water is there so that it can it can work like you. Okay, so you have hot on top as it's burning the flavor, and the water is basically your filter, two, your condensation basically mechanism that basically gets the smoke to come out. Let's see. SCC, BCG, Citadel. Oh, okay. Wow. I guess I'll watch that one just to see what it's completely about. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did hear about that rant now between Ryan Cohen and that Citadel chief who used to be a chief for some other company or something. Who was it? I forgot, but they became, I heard about that rant. So yeah, there is some truth to that. Now, as far as what is it going to be bringing out of it? Well, look at the timing. Ryan Cohen just 2 days ago purchased 100,000 GME shares, which is pretty huge. And for him to come out and do this now, this is, to me, guys, this is how I translate this. This is someone who's coming off a position of strength and choosing the right time, apparently, and they know that there's something in the works, so therefore they're coming out and now they're on the fence. They're not just from a position of strength. They know they're strong, they got something up their sleeves, purchased 100,000 shares, and now remember the price that they purchased it at. It was around I think it was like the 80s to the $100 level. So like what started getting that push going on the GME price. And now this talk, a day after that, they're talking, back and forth to some other chief, and they're coming out and being loud and basically roaring. Something big is coming, and Ryan Cohen knows it, and that's why they're coming out on the offense now, not just sticking behind the scenes and staying quiet like they've been for at least the past few months. Doing good work though. Let's see. Pabloco, hey brother, welcome to the chat. Welcome back. Any experience with share transfers? I'm getting a little paranoid. If squeeze out of nowhere, I might be screwed. Okay, I do have some experience with that, and here's what I had. When I was transferring a big chunk of my positions from Webull to TD Ameritrade, they said it was going to take 3 to 5 business days, and it could take 14 business days depending on the broker that you trade in out of. If you were switching from Robinhood to anywhere else, that's the ultimate worst thing, and all other brokers will speak that. That's what they were telling me on the phone. That is the worst. It could take 3 weeks, 2 weeks to 3 weeks. But hopefully you're not switching from there. Now, it is what I do know, that if you're not switching your whole account, it does take less days. It takes basically 3 to 5 business days, but most likely on that 3 to 4 business day range, that's when it happened for me. And that's what, as far as I know, that's how much I know about it. But I did keep bugging them every day. I called both sides. Hey, what happened? What do you see on your end? Okay, call the other. Okay, I called them. Oh, sir, you just called yesterday. It's gonna take its tool. It's gonna have to take its, 5, 7, 8 business days. I don't care. I'm calling so I can make sure I stay on top of you for this, so that I don't get put on that back burner. If there's any bull crap going on, I don't need any of it happening. Hopefully that answers it. Let's see. And by the way, just to make you feel a little more comfortable, Bob Loco, this is not a one-day event or a couple of hours worth of squeeze and it's done. This thing will have its suspensions. It will have its halts. It will have all the things up its sleeves to where no matter when did you do your transfer, I think you most likely will be good. Even if it starts, even if that's the case, even if it's Monday that it starts on, I think you'll be in good shape, brother. Thank you for the breakdown, Tiny, for Boston Consulting Group. What's up, Mario? Right back at you, brother. So Forks, hey, welcome to the chat, brother. A lot of personnel from BCG worked for Citadel at some point. Yes, that was the source of or the connection to why Brian Cohen was going off on that chief. Okay, so Tiny, as an insider, he has to file his buy order 2 days in advance, right? Here's the thing, that I'm not too much onto this, because at the end of the day, I look at the overall image and what had happened and who was behind it. So honestly, Tiny, on that one, I don't know much if like the exact setup, if it has to be 2 days before or right on time or any of that. So maybe you could share that with us if you do get that question, or if anybody else in the chat knows the answer to that specifically, maybe you could post it. Now we know another information that is solid for the future. I've been calling every day too. No Robin Hood involved. Okay, yeah, then you should be good, Pabloco. Here, I will try to put my magic all over it if there is any. It's like, hey God, make sure Pabloco is good. How's that? Okay. Come on, guys. I know you all are well knowledgeable and you don't have too many questions and you're very well maintained, but come on, there's got to be some questions here. I seen the trades video that he put up, and believe it or not, guys, I do actually believe with the guy. A lot of people were pushing, especially the Lou crowd, were pushing the $22 level. And it's kind of like, what if tomorrow we close at 21? Majority, or if not, that whole crowd is going to be thinking that it's a letdown, not knowing that if we actually close at 21 tomorrow, you're going to see me put in a video
and doing all sorts of dance, whether belly dancing, every kind of dancing. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not gonna be dancing. I'm not a dancer. Uh, but it's that big of a deal if we break clean at that $20.60. In my humble opinion, I think that is gonna be crazy big. Did I hear AA and Sprout picked up more HYMC shares today? Um, I heard the rumor about it that who was it? I think someone even put a comment on one of my videos just a little bit ago, not too long ago, and said that with two numbers or two figures, that the short interest that it was on and what's the float on it. So yeah, there is some truth to that. That overall helps our beloved AMC. So are we all buying shares at 215 tomorrow? Goes to good one. Like I said, here's the cool part for me. I'll speak on me, Ghost 2, without incriminating myself or anyone else on the channel. Here's what I will do. Tomorrow, I will know what I need to do with my tlry and sndl calls, and based on what happens tomorrow, if I do have to let any of my calls on either, then best believe I will be at that 215 date. Might even make it even more scary for them and come in around that 320 time frame. Have I looked at how many lines shares are being held by hedges? Of course, brother. I've been screaming that forever. I was like, look at the suppression on many levels of many different stocks, not just like even AMC or GameStop. Look at BBIGs, look at sundials. Look, the level 2 data is absolutely broken. Like, you can easily see it if you're watching it on on your charts, and as shares are going in and out. So good thing they brought that out. Now many others are going to look at it throughout the trading hours. Nice, 33 million. There we go. Go apes. Go Sprout. Care no loan, and they have not used them. As far as I see, they had, how many they had on loan right now? I think there's about 100,000 as far as what I checked on Stanko Tracker last. Anyone feel free to correct to see what's the available amount of shares for shorting tomorrow. As far as I see for ETFs, I see 2,634. And for available shares, I see, oh sorry, that was for GameStop. Sorry, I'm over here reading it. People are probably like, what is he reading? Oh, shares available to borrow for AMC is about 1,400,000. Sounds correct with everyone else out here? Oh, they're on loan and not used. Yeah, most likely if they reach their targets, they will return most of the remaining. But if they don't reach their targets, you best believe they're going to be using that stuff. There is Pool. I'm feeding Kenny's Pool. There he is. How you doing, brother? They're distracting us with penny stocks, bro. Shaking my F head. I hear you, Kenny. Here's the thing that should put that fire to calm. Do you know how many billions of shares in that float coexists, whether for GME or AMC or even Sundial or any of these meme stocks? So what I'm trying to get to you is, or my message out here to you and everyone else, I've always for the longest been saying that all these stocks are going to squeeze at the same time. Just because common sense, there's no way they will allow the movement just to break one or two at the same time and then leave everything else on the back burner. Then everybody else will have the opportunity to get out with a lot of capital from AMC and GameStop, for example, if they were to break out first, and then go ahead and pick and choose Sundial. We can single-handedly squeeze any other stock after that together, obviously, because the point for them, you gotta remember, you gotta think like them. Their most important thing to do is to break this chain, to break something called ape movement. And they know that in a way, it has a lot to do with AMC and GameStop, but the longer this takes on, we are gonna add more on the back burner, more other stocks, and it's gonna pick them apart. So the one and most important thing that they need to do, if I was in their position, is to close all this chapter all at once, all these stocks. And this is why one of the reasons of why we've been waiting for over a year and a half to get our attendees on all these stocks. So I don't have a problem with anybody who's in also bbig or ocgn or any of that. Why? Because they don't affect me. Like, yeah, it would be better with them with me, but as we all know now, it's very clear that no matter how much buying we do, it's not going to affect the price, because they are utilizing that money, taking it so that they can utilize it to short us down with our own money. So obviously it's rigged. The whole thing is stupid. The float has been purchased over and over many times. So I'm all for everyone on the retail side eating and delivering a big blow to all these institutions. That's just how I see it. So I hope that no one, now to your point, I hope that no one on our side is letting go of their positions in whether AMC or GameStop to go and try to chase any of these penny stocks. And then at that point, then you have a problem with the strategy, and it's just very dangerous. So again, I'm not going to advise you on what to do, guys out there, but that's how I see things. Let's see. No problem, Cool Runner. With glasses or not, you're perfect by me. 1981, Wind Moon. I'll tell you Wind Moon. Wind Moon is if we basically close above that $21 level this week, this Friday, tomorrow. Then you're going to start seeing the stratosphere of Earth next week, and then on your way over to the moon, we'll see what happens. And most likely might be next week. Who knows? No one knows. But that's my guess. 1981. Let's see. As long as you don't sell one to jump into another, you'll win. Hey, I don't see anything wrong with that. Zycom, I'm holding AMC, but I think GME will squeeze first and the rest will follow. Okay, there is a lot of truth to that, but here's the thing. By the standards that we're dealing with these days, like right now and this whole past year, that's what the pattern had been, is that through GME breaking and then everything follows. But honestly, I would not be completely surprised if obviously any other stock, including AMC, breaks them first. In fact, it could be not even AMC or GME. It could be sndl, tlry, and here's why. I've always already told you guys that these hedge funds all have big positions in all the stocks, not just like AMC and GameStop. AMC and GameStop, we already know that they're over leveraged, super shorted, down to the ground, and all that stuff. But these other stocks out there are also shorted. Now remember, the trend in the market, as long as there's no value, this is why you see a market while it's throughout the whole globe, all the financials are down, except here in the US, we're having down and up movements like everything is normal, when in reality it's not, because all those stocks, if obviously like Amazon, Tesla, any other relevant stock or anybody else to our movement, as long as they go down, so will the portfolio of those hedge funds or those institutes that are shorting us. And as they continue to go down, that could trigger a margin call toward whatever is over leveraged, which is AMC and GameStop. So hypothetically speaking, if sndl tomorrow or tlry or any of these marijuana stocks break any margin in any hedge fund, you know who that will crack the door open for? It will crack it open for all the other ones, whether AMC and GameStop. And at that point, it goes down to like when the marathon is on and they say ready, set, go. and it's broken, the door is broken, that's it, just go through. It's whatever is shorted more. Who has more short on whatever stock, and that stock is gonna start climbing higher than the rest. That's just how it is. Whatever is on this, the balance is on this, and the balance is on this, and it takes off. When people say, "Oh, this took off from 6," that's why it can only go to 100. And then some other people say this broke from 100, so it's easy for it to go to 600 or 700. It's completely false, guys, because we saw back in January 2021 when GME broke out, it was at the $3 to $4 range. And according to the theory that I was saying, that the bad theory that I don't believe in, is that when it broke up, it went to $480. If that theory was correct, that it's not because of where it starts from, that's what dictates how high it goes, then GME should have had no business going to that level, to the almost $500 level. So don't buy into that crap. However much is shorted, and however much those companies or those institutes have to cover, that will dictate the price after that and how rapidly it flies. That's my 2 cents on that. Okay. Let's see. Remember, they removed the button, the buy button, so to win you do the opposite. Next week, question, I'm all in. Okay. Okay, cool. Have you watched anything on Short Squeeze channel? He's got some DD that needs to be put out. I have not. I've never actually. Sorry, I've never heard of that channel. I will go ahead and look at that. I will look at that in their tonight. I'll look at least one of their videos and see what's going to be talked about. Okay, Teddy Zane just posted saying it's time to say goodbye. But that's what he gets for day trading, I say. Okay, so I asked who was that person yesterday in Pantheon's live, Macellorian's live, and they told me that he's the guy who was trading crypto before, and now he's jumping over to the AMC wagon because he sees there's a lot of coverage on it. And here's what I gotta tell you: once you chase a stock, normally it's a bad signal. Don't chase something that is already running. If we apply that theory on this guy, then you already know this guy's he's running after something. And the sad part is he's using the crypto and the day trade and scalping mindset to deal with this, which is a short squeeze candidate. AMC speaking, that is. So this guy has no clue what this whole movement is about. He just jumped in, probably using Ortex or Lux algo at a buy-in point when it told him to buy, and then as soon as it said sell, he just went ahead and sold it, thinking that it's just like how trading crypto. And I know that mindset exists a lot in the crypto world, because when I trade crypto, that's just how we see things, and we scalp it ever since that major rise in the crypto part, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and all those back in January of 2021. That big rush where almost all the cryptos went up massively. Since then, it's just been normal 10% up, 10% down, 5% up, 2% down, stuff like that. So these people had to adapt their psychological thinking of the game and how to trade. And now I'm just walking through that what could have happened possibly to bring this guy over to us. So suddenly Mr. Teddy jumped on and seen that there's more crowd to follow in AMC and more attention on that play, because the whole crypto movement have kind of died out, especially the Dogecoin or the shib. People didn't die out, but they went down in volume. So he came here, tried to do that, and did what he did, and the rest is history. It's just stupid. I think he's stupid without even meeting the guy or ever watching him, so I wouldn't put much thought into that. Okay, and yes, laughing face on him, Pool. Thoughts on Mullen? 1981, welcome back with another good question. I think that Mullen is one, is completely underpriced anyways when it went down to that $1 or in the cents actually range. That triggered a lot of buying orders just like by default because the price was just so low. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna keep my same stance on it. The stock is very volatile. If you know you're buying, this is where I would apply my Lux Algo mindset on something like that. Buy at the great price and possibly sell at a great price, make it collecting your profits or getting your profits in. Now, I'm not advising anyone to go and buy and do that or any of that. This is just what I would do. Why do I say that? Because Mullen is in the EV sector area, and as far as I know, that EV sector has already been padded down with so many companies, with Tesla charging leading the way. But you got another competitor in the hydrogen sector, which is like Plug. That's a big company. Check the ticker symbol on that. There's a couple more. It's not coming on top of my head. And those technologies are, big. Now, Nikola was a huge thing in 2020, I remember, because they had a problem with somehow developing a semi-truck that when they shot a commercial for, the semi-truck was just a facade. It did not have an engine in it or anything. So they were just rolling it down a very slight hill and it made it look like it's running already. So that became a scandal, and when it came out, it broke the stock. A lot of insiders started selling all their stock and everything. Now, apparently, the opposite of that is happening. They have put out a lot of, just recently, I think like yesterday, they put out an article saying that they are already in the process of manufacturing their own semi-truck, and it's going to come out soon. So, with what I'm trying to get to about Mullen, brother, is that I see it like now doing this thing, and I know it's been in it for a while, but so many other players are ahead of it in the game. Similar to even Workhorse, that gets swept under the carpet, and no one has an idea on how huge that play is gonna be when it's time to run. It's gonna follow AMC and GME. Take my words, guys, and fact check me when that happens. Workhorse, I'm really huge on. Neo, was really big. I'm still dreading the fact that I'm not in it, but again, it is a Chinese-based stock, so that's why I'm not in it. So Mullen has a huge, bright future as far as where it's starting from, as far as price-wise now at this moment. But will I hold it for long term? Personally, I won't. I'm just going to keep using any of these stocks to scalp, to make profits, and up my positions in my favorite AMC and GameStop at this point. Hopefully that answers it, brother. Yes, I will watch him pull. Apparently Zane had a channel for stocks since 2009, so I heard, but not factual info as far as I know. Yeah, I mean, again, that guy don't even need to prove to me if he has experience or not. His talk, just what you guys have shared with me, showed me that the guy does not know much about this. He might be knowledgeable in the crypto sector, and that's a completely different sector, even though the trading is almost very similar, but honestly, it's completely different when it comes to what are the forces in between, and it's just so much easier to trade crypto. Honestly, you'll see, if any of you in here are not doing or have not done any crypto trading, if you do so in the future after the stock or squeeze or any of that with the market, and you decide that you want to leave and you want to go to somewhere else, let's say you landed on the crypto sector, trust me, you'll see like, oh my God, had I had all this money from before, I would have never touched the stock market. You would be thinking that, and as you think that, you can have me as the first person in your head. Okay, good question, Tiny. What is your exit strategy for the squeeze? Okay, so for this squeeze, personally, first, like I said, I'm going to be looking at the short interest and the shorts covering. Depending on where they start covering from, obviously I'm not going to be selling as they're covering. If there is any shorts out there, because when the squeeze happens, that means you know, if it ravages up and it goes above, let's say, for example, over $100, there's no fire extinguisher to turn that shit down. So sorry for my French. At that point, it becomes a little bit easier for me because now I know that everyone who's short on this have to pay. They have to close. There's no way they are not going to get margined with a price that just changed from the teens and the 20s all the way up to that much, and others are covering before them, even the people that are underneath them. That's just going to be amazing. So I already know that I don't have to sell for less, or I know that my gold, whatever shares I'm holding, are worth more than whatever that price is reflecting at that point, at that moment. And then as I see that the short interest is approaching, or the shorts are approaching to finish their covering, I've always said this, I always get my initial investment out. And once I got that secured, then I'm looking for making them pay upwards in the high ranges, because I know with the amount of shorts and synthetics that exist out there, of how many floats that they have dumped out there over and over again, it's almost like a no-brainer for me. And at that point, I'm gonna be trying to take them down, you know, make them pay as much for mine. So I'm gonna hold for really high numbers, and you'll see I'll post afterwards what I would see is the number ideally for me to or comfortably to let everything go. You gotta remember, guys, a lot of people have different amount of shares, and everyone does, and for some something might be too high, and for some something might be too low. So I will end it with that tiny investor, aka the net. I would not take it, I would not put it past the idea just so I could test the waters during the squeeze. I might just try to put in any small sell orders just to see what's happening. Are they going through? Are they not? You know, again, we know that there's going to be a lot of fuckery going on when they're, you know, when this whole thing is breaking out. So I just want to make sure that all the bases are covered while the whole thing is going on, but nothing too effective. Let's see. Forex said, AB, if the S&P 500 moves up tomorrow, would that make keeping AMC under 22 more difficult for the hedge funds? Here's the thing. So you would need to, a better gauge for that is, instead of the S&P 500, I would look at the SPY, which I know is reflective off of the S&P 500, but it also covers the like normally some investors out there, some seasoned investors out there will tell you to look at the VTI, the Vanguard, it's is it VTI or VIT? VTI, I think. I'm more inclined to say VTI. Anybody can correct me in the comment section. But Vanguard's basically coordinator, or like the track similar to the SPY, those two, if you look at the SPY, if it's going up, I would easily say that yes, it is going to be much harder for them to short AMC, and not just only because that is reflective over to this, it's because the most close thing to knowing if AMC is going to go up or down sometimes is looking at the IWM, because we do know that they short the living hell out of that, because there's a lot of us, a lot of our shares are in there. You see that going up, normally you see AMC going up. You see the SPY going up, also we rebound with it. So as far as the question of if it's going to be harder, the only thing that makes it harder for them is the upward movement. The more it moves up, the more they have to go out there and try to borrow shares from somewhere, and to try to put it down. That's ultimately it, because they are hurt. Like I said, if we break that $21 and we hold it through tomorrow and into Monday, like you guys should, I would just say this, I'm not a financial advisor, neither I'm a political advisor, but I will tell you, you should be a party. You should do parties, and you should party yourself, because it is going to be, I will be a party advisor in that return, in that case. That's just my humble opinion. We will see what would happen. Let's see. tapped in mindset. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I am preaching all to my fellow family members. Pablo, in future it would be cool to get your scalping techniques, your chart setup with which indicators you like to use, etc. Okay, so Pablo, that's one thing I feel like I'm getting lazy on trying to learn this screen sharing and how to do it, because I could just share this from my computer. But if I do that, then I would have to shoot. The camera on my computer is not the best, so I would have to get a better camera. And that way, I like some sort of live recorder and stream, and then I can just go ahead and play that and keep switching the screen so you can see the inside. So yeah, I will look forward into that, and I will do it. Right now, on the top of my head, I can tell you this, Pablo. First, research whatever stock that comes into your mind or comes into your eyesight. Research it. Look at the background of it. Then look at the fundamentals. Look at the shares on borrow that's out on borrow. Look at the short interest on it. Even though in these times all these are not as accurate, because we know that they play a lot with a lot of these numbers and things, but at least it's what you got. So what do I do normally? After I check all those squares, all those, I would call them the preliminary squares, I start check all. I'll take a look at the stock's movement and the pattern in the past whole year. And then I start breaking it down, working my way from there, like bridging the gap from a year to by quarter. See the similarities between this year and last year. March of this year, what was it like in March of last year? Try to look on that whole chart, even up to the 5-year movement, to see, just to get a feel, like just to look at what I'm looking at, like the whole picture from overall. And then ultimately I will see the last few months of what has been happening with the stock movement. And then obviously you'll apply it to today's news. What is that sector going through? If today we know that the tech sector is down, then I would know why. If that stock is within the tech sector, then I would have an educated reasoning to why it's down. Now anything beyond the normal, then at least that gives me like, hey, okay, I'm about to get into this. I like everything I've seen. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this, but I'm not gonna jump head first. Like, I always put in a certain amount. I'm not gonna take a huge position unless it's that big of a deal. Like for example, what is it that big of a deal at the moment? Apple. If you see it at $100 or $90, that's a no-brainer. If there is no market wide crash, I'm jumping on that price without even thinking. I'm just gonna buy it. I know that it's gonna be in the 140s, 150s, and 160s. And I might also play a lot of calls on that. That's just how I see things, if there's that big potential. But if it's not that crazy of a deal, and I just see the potential for this stock to scalp and make some money off of, then I already know that each stock I'm gonna change my categories for. Like, hey, for this one, I can expect a 20 to 30% rise. So therefore, that's when I will sell. For this one, I'm only expecting a 10%, a cool 5-10%, and therefore I get out. As long as I collect my initial investment out first, after that we'll see what's happening as far as the news coming out, because you're gonna have to act moment to moment through it. And that's just me talking on top of my head, just around how I approach the whole situation into scalping. Tidy said stop blowing my cover. Okay, I will do so. So 1981, common sense investor says they will take away the buy button. Here's the thing. No one can definitely come out and say yes they will, or no they won't. So I can't logically come out here and say he's lying, or no, it's not true, because we're not there yet. Who can prove that? No one can. But here's what I can tell you. The damage that would happen if they were to do something like that on their side is way more than what it will cost to us. Here's why I mean that. Do you know why they've been activating all these in the past few months? They've been activating a lot of suspensions rules, halt rules. Maybe they have up to a month to suspend a stock. Why would they take away the buy button if they can just suspend it by law? They have that right to do so. The commissioner of the NYSE has the right to suspend any stock if they see that it has risk of destroying the market. They have the ability to go ahead and suspend it for up to a month if they want. 2 days, 2 weeks, up to a month. So if they have that up their sleeve that they lawfully went ahead and implemented in these past few months, why would they go ahead? Now we come back to this point of what you said about CSI. Why would they take away the buy button? Now here's the thing, I'm not trying to discredit CSI here. No, I'm trying to weigh in the possibility of that happening and why would it happen and why would it not happen? Now, are they gonna do it? Well, they're gonna have a lot of, it's gonna destroy a lot over there because again, it's not legal for them to do so. What's legal is for them that, or at least what they consider is legal, is by suspending a ticker, you know, a symbol or a stock in that case. And how long they suspend it for, it doesn't matter. But in this case, let's say hypothetically speaking, they do take away the buy button. I'm pretty sure by now, everyone is very well knowledge on the idea that once the buy button is taken away, that helped them, the institutional side, back in January, because they had no shares to do any covering or do anything. They were screwed. So they needed a lot of shares so they can do some covering, and then they could kick this can down the road. And by taking away the buy button, everyone that was conducting business in GME or AMC or any of the meme stocks was basically, in a way, for money. They were buying directly from you because all you could do was sell your order. If everybody had held, theoretically speaking here, we can't go back to the past and change it, but if everybody had held back then, we would be right now in a different realm and a different world. There's no explanation to how we would have broke down, but no knock on everyone back then because they didn't know much. Like, this is clear now, it wasn't clear then. So now it's up to you. Weigh it out. What do you think? Do you think they will take away the buy button after everything that we just said here or discussed? Do you think they will just do it by other means? Yes, Forks. That's the. We all have that same emoji to the institutional investors and to the hedgies. So Tapped Mindset said, Robinhood removed instant deposit. Do you think everyone will tag along or they can't? I think, okay, that happened, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday. That's when that news broke out. I think that at this point, like I said previously, none of this would matter much. Like no penny stock is gonna, like, you know, take our mind away from it. We've been in this. If you've been in AMC or GameStop, especially since January or even before that, in some cases, like even for me, there's nothing that they could throw at you anymore, guys, that is gonna be a surprise. We've seen the worst. We've already been through the worst. What's new? Those gimmicks don't work anymore. And no one is going to sidetrack anyone that's been in this play for that long and hurting for that long just to come now and, oh, okay, I let's get sidetracked, you know, or this don't make sense anymore. Let me jump somewhere else. It's too, I don't see that happening at all. So with that being said, whether Webull, I know Webull has a situation where they only let you use the first $1,000 of your Insta, but obviously not on options. You would have to wait for the full transfer to go through. But at the end of the day, no matter what, they're having very, very low liquidation. They have very, very, very limited amount of money. And maybe this has a lot more to do with the instant deposit stuff, because they will actually need your money to switch over before they can give it to you, because they can't front you no more. That's what that is telling me, is that the brokers have no money to front. You know, at any given time, something big could happen. Who knows what? and they would need all the money they have on hand. They're not going to be able to front you your money until it fully deposits. No, they're just going to wait until your money is in, and then you get your money. 1981, you skipped my early question. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Let's see. About the SFT, NSC 2021-010, oh my God, being operational supposedly April 11, before the squeeze can happen. So here's the thing, that has been one of the regulations, 1981, that has been like pushed down the road for so many times, you know, rebottled, possessed, re-put out there, re-pushed, everything's been happening, and nothing for sure. If that ruling does pass, it's gonna hurt a lot. And always keep this in the back of your head, guys. Don't sleep on the idea that they will clean all this stuff up before regulations go through. It's kind of like, again, I've explained to you guys before that when someone, hypothetically speaking, commits a crime, and they know they hid the weapon and whatever that they used for the crime. If they know that the police has caught the weapon that was used, then they don't even need to find the body anymore, because they know that that's what it was. And if it's in your house, they know it is. It's too bad. You're gonna do worse time now. It's just gonna be ugly. All this time you were evading, you're not gonna get no plea deal or none of that stuff. They're just gonna be coming at you with full force. So same thing applies here. If these guys, they're not gonna wait until they get caught with all this, because then it's gonna be like, hey, you've done all this for a whole year and a half. Do you know how many lawsuits they will open themselves up for if they get caught red-handed? We all know that they're doing the bad stuff, but by law, they have not been captured yet, and they will not allow or put that option on the table. I personally think they will deal with everything before any of these things go into effect, the most important things. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't skip that one, brother. They will have to pay. I think more people who sit on the sideline will jump it. Of course, we said this, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday in the chat, guys, and you probably remember this. FOMO comes in regardless, and I think FOMO was in yesterday. Now, the good and the bad about FOMO. The good about FOMO is it increases the volume, the daily volume, obviously, and the transactions that are going through. It adds more pressure on these guys. What is the bad thing about FOMO? Is that they're always the first ones out. So the last one's in, first one's out. But once it breaks certain levels, this play cannot be contained. Like I said, there will not be any fire extinguishers in the house that are capable of bringing the price down to normal levels for them. And you'll see. Yes, we did become much stronger and wiser since they removed that button situation, and everybody knew that they had to up their game. And we constantly keep upping our game, guys. That's what's beautiful about this. What's up, Bobby Investor? How are you doing, brother? All right. So I'm going to be looking to start wrapping things up, guys. If you have any questions, please throw them in now. I'm going to take a few more questions before we go. Again, it's like I said, I wanted it to be somewhere around an hour or hour and a half at the most to, get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a much more interesting day to be covering while the market is going on. Probably time to watch some movie or TV shows, or I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight again as well, because again, I have big positions in tlry and sndl, and I can't wait to see what happens. KJW, what are your thoughts on BitNile? If you heard of it, I haven't. Isn't that a crypto? Okay, well, thank you, Tiny. I just saw your post now. Yeah, I did skip it. I saw it, then I saw your post now. 1981 AMC and GME range as far as price. Bobby Investor, are you gonna check out Boss Blunts at 11 p.m. tonight Central Time? Is there something special? Again, I've only looked at the guys here advised me to look at AMC Bigham's, and I went to check his last video out, and it was a very cool one. I liked it, so I've checked that one. But Boss Blunts, I'm not hip to. Sorry, guys. Again, I'm an investor more than also than just a YouTuber. And as I'm investing, I've never, and God is my witness on this, I have not really been going to follow any other channels through my process because I already have my theories and it all works for me. But it's cool from time to time to watch other people, see what they have. What are they talking about? What is there something that I've missed? But for why I jumped in AMC or GameStop, trust me, when I jumped in those stocks, guys, none of this YouTube stuff was going on. Not no Matt, not no Trey. I know Matt Kors was around for a long time, but he wasn't on the meme stock, train as he is, as he's known now for. Not even Trey. I remember the first few days that even Trey jumped on the YouTube world and kind of took it by storm then. I mean, at that time, really anyone that started a YouTube channel became a big guy. You got like people like, what's his name, that Dort guy, masked investor and all this stuff. Nothing, no pun intended on any of these guys, but there's many of them that are just, that came in at the right time for as far as YouTube career wise, and benefited a lot, whether they knew a lot or not. It is what it is. For me, again, I just didn't use any of them, and none of them were available back then. GME and AMC were huge, especially in the beginning days of that Wall Street bets. If you were around then, you would know that that's when that whole thing started going on. And first, it was just all attentions on GME, everything. And AMC was kind of like that little guy in the background, just standing in the shadows at the time, waiting. And when people whoever missed the train on AMC, on GME, directly jumped in AMC, and there was a lot that were in GME that sold in that run up in January that jumped into AMC just because of the amount of money that is potentially going to be made on that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think of it like this, guys. If GME goes from 100, where the range that it's at now, and it goes to 1,000, that's 10x, great. But look at AMC. If AMC goes from the 15 over to the 1,000, how much, who in your opinion would make more money in those two, in those two positions? So this guy with AMC obviously will make a whole lot more money than the person that invested in GME. So that's given that if theoretically they both go to the same price. And that is the main reason why I don't agree with people who say wherever it goes from dictates how far or how high it goes. And on top of that, GME could go to 1,000 or 2,000, but AMC can only go to 800. Well, guess what? If GME goes to 1,000, I would still rather take AMC to 800 than GME to 1,000. I mean, this is just theoretically speaking, guys. This is also not the numbers by any means that I'm proposing or anything out there. I'm just saying that the run up or the difference between 15 or 20 to 800 is much higher than 100, 140 to 1,000. You see, that's just it. So sometimes you just got to see, everyone thinks a little different, and it's really cool to see that with you guys in here, I get to see a lot of different mindsets. And I'm in no form or shape a guru or an advisor, obviously. I'm just sharing some of the things that I've been through throughout the years of me trading. Let's see. Israel, how are you doing, brother? Welcome back to the stream. What's your take on the whole Evergrande situation? Could it trigger MOS? Here's the thing. Everybody thought that was going to be the trigger. Then that passed, and that didn't trigger it. Then everybody said Elon Musk dumping shares. was going to trigger it, and that didn't trigger it. Then the Russian war happened, which is supposedly bigger than both of those previous catalysts, and that didn't trigger it. Ultimately, from the beginning, I've always thought that the reason why all this is happening, the reason for the way that it's happening is, for one, try to get as many people off the movement as possible, and two, try to raise as much money so that when that time comes, which I feel like we're very close to, we are not just caught with our hands in our pockets. Oh, we don't have money, sorry. No, they have to have money. Even if they can't cover it and they just file for bankruptcy and they get evaporated and it falls in the laps of the DTCC or the feds, well, guess what? Who's been collecting so much money and so much profits off of repo and reverse repo transactions for a whole year? So at the end of the day, everything begins and ends in the stock market with money. That's the most important, that's the elephant in the room. And I believe that is the reason why we've been going for so long now. Is one, they needed to destroy the movement as much as possible, and two, weaken the movement as much as possible, and three, raise as much money so that if this movement was not to be put down, at least they will have enough money to deal with it. Because by law, they can't just say no one can pay, whether it's the brokers or the insurance company, which is BTCC at this point. Review dork, yes, correct. Thank you, Bobby. That was the dork guy. It was always illegal to make weed illegal in the first place. It all stems from many years ago and the usual BS politics. Yes, okay, so it was always illegal to make weed illegal. You're right. Now, when you read it twice, then it makes more sense, KJ. The thing is, when you hold something that has no value from the beginning, like you said, it was illegal from the beginning to have the right to make it illegal. But to make a market for it, they had to make it illegal or keep it as illegal. Now that obviously the market is all for it, the whole world is almost signing off on it as some sort of crazy drug that's going to kill you. Yeah, a lot of people can debate back and forth, and we're not here for that as far as if it's a lead way drug to other drugs or not. Who knows? This is not the channel you come to for that talk. But I will tell you this. The feds only care about money. Again, the elephant in the room when it comes to these things is money. If they legalize this thing, they start making so much money off of taxing it. If they don't legalize it federally, then business goes as usual. They don't make money. But with the situation in this markets these days and how terrible the market is and liquidity is screwed everywhere, all over the place, they are almost pressed. That's my hypothesis. I've been saying this for a year almost now, that they're almost pressed to make that decision. If you have 100 shares or 1,000, whoever trades best wins. Not that it's a competition. You're okay. Now that I read it again, Bobby, you make sense. Yeah, some people could trade 10 shares and you have the same shares or the same stock as I do, but you have 100 of them. I could, but at that point, that person with less shares is going to be taking more risk on, because at that point, you're going to be waiting for higher numbers to make more money, where the person with more shares would accept lesser numbers, which means lesser risk, because they have a much bigger position. But you are correct still, in another way, everybody trades differently. Like you could look at this one trade as just a ladder to the next trade and make money off of it, and then make the next, and then the next one is bigger, and then the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, and so forth. Let's see. Goodbye, Tiny. Thank you so much. I'm also almost running right now. Teddy Zane officially bailed out of AMC. Yeah, do you know how much probably how much hate and how many people unsubscribed from him? because of what he came out to do and to say. He thought that he was going to trigger the opposite effect, which is, hey, just create any sort of noise and people will come. Well, in this case, it's the opposite. Any sort of noise is not necessarily good, because bad noise like this will get you screwed up with our apes. With our kind of apes, you don't mess around. We could easily form a mafia, guys. Like, call it Ape Mafia. Especially after the squeeze, we have so much money, and we turn this thing into a mafia. Can you imagine? No one can mess with us. I mean, we've been through the worst things that humankind has to offer, because obviously hedgies are the worst of the worst to humanity that humanity has to offer, right? I hope no one is saying no here. Who knows, unless it's that one hedgie in the chat. Okay, guys, I see that I think Pantheon is going to go on soon. Please go ahead and check his channel, guys. Much love. Please, if you're not subscribed to his channel, I'm not telling you what to do. That will be at your own convenience. But do mention that to him that, you know, AB have sent you here, because I do want that gentleman to know how much he's appreciated. He's a really, 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 really great guy. He knows what he's talking about, and if he doesn't know something, he will not just give you any BS. Also, I also seen the signal that's saying that I think Dinaro is on. So whether he uploaded a video or if he's on, also you know, go in there and send my regards. And I'll probably be looking for you guys over there. If any of you head out to any of these chats, you probably will see me there. Please don't be shy to say hi. And much love. Oh, hold on. Before the much love part, Israel, thank you to Pabloco. Good night, brother. We'll look tomorrow for what's going to happen with our stocks. And thank you to Bobby. Appreciate you, brother. Pantheon sent me your way. Okay, Forks. So there we go. I was speaking so good about the guy, and guess what? You're a living proof of why Pantheon is high on my list for sure. Great. And not just only because he sent, you know, you or others in here from there, but mainly because he does really genuinely mean what he's talking about, and his DD on his videos is just flawless, second to none. Okay, IP and Guinea Spool, I need your name, brother, or give me a nickname that I can call you by if you don't want to share your real name. But your comments just literally opened up the whole chat. Look at it, all these nice gorillas and the kabooms and the fires and the rockets and the money faces. I mean, it's getting me amped up for the market to open. Like, I want it to open right now. Guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun together. Okay, Frank it is. All right. Well, Frank, welcome to the Ape Mafia. That from now on, that's gonna be our name. We're gonna be the Ape Mafia. And please, guys, don't go do anything or do any hits or, you know, on any targets before the call is issued from the top. Okay, don't just go out there and start you know, taking matters into your own hands. This is a very professional mafia. Okay, with that being said, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support and all your great questions, and possibly I'll see you in the other channels or the other chats here tonight. Much love, EV Investments.